Turn the volume up, damn it. Good afternoon. Happy Monday. Happy April 4th, which is a day that, well, I enjoy because, in the immortal words of the, who, I don't even know who wrote this one. I just know the Beatles sang "Today It's Your Birthday." My birthday too. Yeah. Speaking of my birthday too, yeah. I didn't even know this morning, Mike Savage. I hear it's your birthday too. You didn't even say anything this morning, Blarg. And I'm like, oh, hey, well, happy birthday, Mike Savage. Cheers to you. Happy birthday, my friend. And plus, you got a bell because you're the first one in the chat this afternoon. I'm glad you're here. So this afternoon, I was going to try and do an experiment on the Twitter machine, okay? Because I get in arguments on Twitter with people. Well, I don't know if I say arguments. I just get into discussions on Twitter with people. And so I'm going to just, after we go through the couple stories, and it is open mic, by the way. There's a link at the top of the chat there, or that's pinned right now, but it'll pop up in the chat. In fact, I'm going to unpin this right now so I can see what the hell is going on here, because I think I might have made a mistake. Did I make a mistake? I don't know. I'll find out when that gets out of my way. But anyway, after we go through the couple stories, it's open mic. It's an open mic day on this afternoon. So if you want to jump in and say something, you can do that, or you can do it in the chat, or you can do the proverbial super chat, the Streamlabs, all that stuff. I just realized I don't have branding on this, do I? Anyway, pdawgknight.live is my Streamlabs link, and that'll pop up in the chat every once in a while, or you super chats or whatever. And if you want to do that, great. If you don't, just talk in the chat. I'm here for that too. And but I wanted to do a couple stories that I missed this morning, okay? And then also I just want to go in Twitter and go, okay, what's happening on Twitter right now? Are there people on there? I want to see if anyone will talk to me from Twitter. If I see someone tweet something that I think's crazy or whatever, I'm going to, I'll just see if I can invite them to come on. I'll give them the link. Hey, you want to come talk about it? I'm live right now. You can try if you want to try me, and we'll see what you think. And I'm not going to be mean to anybody, but just see what happens. But anyway, so the open mic link is in there somewhere. It'll be in the chat. And also, otherwise I'm just going to go through some stories. So anyway, do I even need to have an intro for this? I really don't. I was going to play the intro, and I think no. I think maybe, just maybe, instead of playing the intro, I could just play a little funk. How you like that groove? This is called Working the Night Shift by someone named Duke Harrington. I don't know where it's from. My music service is out of Switzerland. But it's kind of kicking, isn't it? Welcome to the afternoon show, Dawg Knight. I see Jimmy from Philly. He's in the green room while he's on a hike. I see you, Jimmy. I'll get you on in a second. But so it's my birthday. I'm not drunk. Trust me, I'm not. I could be, but I'm not. I'm drinking some root beer from Culver's. It's delicious. So anyway, let's say hi to everyone who's here before I bring Jimmy on, because I want to make sure everybody knows that I see them. I had to turn that down a little bit. Oh, break it down. I hope this is working. I hope this is not too loud now. Anyway, in the chat this afternoon, as I said already, Mike Savage from Mike Savage got the bell because he was first. Also, good afternoon, my time, or good evening to Mike and Irish Shrugs or Irish Snugs. It says happy birthday night. That's a new name. Nice to see you here. Also, good morning or good afternoon, JMK, Jimmy from Philly, Attack Alpaca, Keever Dam, Scrappy Pirate, Katie Did Skate. Is that everybody? Well, share the stream. I put it out on social media, and we're gonna get it kicking here. And before I even go to any stories, I'm gonna bring in Jimmy from Philly. Thank you, Scribe Light. If you're in the chat or somewhere hiding in the background, thank you for retweeting the show. I greatly appreciate you. Jimmy, you got 2 windows open. What do you got going on here? How many phones you got with you? All right, let's turn this down. Well, it's about to end anyway, so we'll just let it go to the end before I bring in Jilly. Good morning, good afternoon, Anna Lynn. There we go. All right, so let's since I have someone waiting in the green room, let's go to the green room. And here is our good friend Jimmy from Philly. White.
I think the connection's bad. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you, Jimmy, but it's struggling. I can tell you. But no, it's okay. No, it's good. It's good enough.
Yeah.
It is good enough. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing okay, man. I got down work early, and I went on a hike, and I'm drinking beer, and
you're on a hike and you're drinking beer. Is that what you said? They haven't arrested you for drinking beer on a hike? Oh, okay. That his connection's crap. But anyway, Jimmy, you know I love you, brother. Anyway, that was Jimmy from Philly, our good friend. And go check out Jimmy from Philly. He's quite the character, and he is. We know him from over at the Hard Master Channel. He's been in the chat quite a bit. Also, if you never saw his confrontation with David Pacman and some psychiatry blogger or some shit like that, or YouTuber, that was interesting. Hello, Moon. Thank you for the happy birthday. I appreciate you. So anyway, so I want to kind of go into a couple things that I didn't get to this morning because Simius, that's a like. Okay, so because this morning I forgot to put this on here, but I don't even know where I got this from, but there's and I loathe to believe this is even real, but there is a paper out there in what is the APS? Let me see if I can figure out what the APS is. The APS is the American Physical Society, as in physics. It's a physics society, right? And they have a journal out there called the APS Physics. It's a physics journal, and academics write papers and put them in physics journals. I wonder did I get this from ACE? I bet I did. Let me check here. It might have been from ACE, but anyway, the American Physics Journal. Okay, and the American Physics Journal has people who send in papers and abstracts and shit like that of academic research that they have done. And this one is extra special. Judithine, how you doing? Thank you for the happy birthday. I appreciate you. And Bully Rook, I see you in the green room. I'm gonna go through this story, and then we'll pull you in here because I will get your 2 cents on this particular abstract that we're gonna go through very briefly. I'm not gonna go through the whole thing, but I just want to read some of it because apparently, the discipline of physics, I feel the anticipation. I feel you leaning towards the screen going, what's he about to say? What's he about to say? What's he about to say? The discipline of physics is racist.
That's racist!
Yes, physics. Physics education is racist. Okay, it does. Damn, don't have explicitly says that. Anyway, hi, Zombie Teddy. What's up? Yeah, physics is racist. Here's the abstract. I'm not. You think I'm kidding? You think I'm kidding? No. Now, here's the problem. Now, when I read this abstract, right? I thought for sure that this possibly, very, very possibly, could be a prank because of the way it reads. But then I began to read more and more, and I am beginning to think that it's not a prank. It's not a prank. Physical review physics education research observing whiteness in introductory physics, a case study. Here's the abstract part of this. Now, there's some things I just got to show you. I got to show you because it's hilarious. Yes, I agree to cookies and all that shit. Maybe I could. My F11 key doesn't work, so I can't. I don't think I can. I don't know that I can even. Is there a shift? I was trying to make that bigger. Oh, well, that's okay. Anyway, all right. So here we go. Within whiteness, the organization of social life. Thank you, D.I. Fredo Watcher, for the happy birthday and welcome. Within whiteness, the organization of social life is in terms of a center and margins that are based on dominance, control, and a transcendent figure that is consistently and structurally ascribed value over and above other figures. In this paper, we synthesize literature from critical whiteness studies. Yes, there is such a thing as critical whiteness studies, and critical race theory to articulate analytic markers for whiteness and use the markers to identify and analyze whiteness as it shows up in an introductory physics classroom interaction. We name mechanisms that facilitate the reproduction of whiteness in this local context, including a particular representation of energy physics values, whiteboards, gendered social norms, and the structure of schooling. Yes, this is an academic paper. Real quick, thank you, Jimmy from Philly, my man, dropping a 5 spot in the tip jar that says, happy birthday. Thank you, Jimmy from Philly, my brother. All right. Let me continue. In naming whiteness and offering a set of analytic markers, our aim is to provide instructors and researchers with a tool for identifying whiteness in their own context alongside our discussion, which imagines new possibilities for physics teaching and learning. We hope our work contributes to critical whiteness studies goals of dismantling whiteness. Look, when you read this thing, you're going to get sick of hearing the word whiteness. It's because it's over and over and over. By the way, the link to this study will be in the description down below. All right. Here, now, there's the introduction. I'll go through the introduction and then I'll show you a couple things that we're going to move on because I'm not going to go through it. It doesn't get any better. Now, and I'm just going to go through the introduction because there's some things in the introduction where I immediately went, So here's the introduction. The introduction is about, it's not very long. It has some footnotes and references and whatnot. Okay, here's the introduction. Critical race theory names that racism and white supremacy are endemic to all aspects of U.S. society. From employment to schooling to the law, we see the outcomes of this in, for example, differential incarceration rates, rates of infection and death in the era of COVID, and police brutality. We also see the outcomes of this in physics, which is science. She blinded me with science. For example, the American Physical Society reports that whereas almost 16% of the U.S. population aged 20 to 24 years is Black, only 3% of bachelor's degrees in physics and 1.8% of doctorate degrees are awarded to Black students. Maybe the brothers aren't taking physics. Kind of like women are taking electrical engineering, but I digress. This is in contrast to about 73% of the U.S. population aged 20 to 24 being white and 73% of the U.S. population aged 20 to 24 being white and 72% and 75% respectively of all bachelor's and doctorate degrees being awarded to white students. Now, critical race theory would cite this as evidence that white supremacy, or the systemic maintenance of the dominant position that produces white privilege, is shaping degree granting and all of the processes and practices therein in physics. Now, let me talk some numbers here because I want to go through those numbers they just went through. Because something fascinating in these numbers. So, and they're going to make another reference to these numbers, and I'll get back to it. But so 16% of the U.S. population, blah, 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 is Black, and only 3% of bachelor's degrees in physics and 1.8 of doctorate degrees are awarded to Black students. Now, does anyone, I'm curious, is there anyone who forces people to go into physics or other majors? Is it that maybe Black students, for whatever reason, choose not to go in physics? But here's the other number that really, I guess, stands out because they want to chalk in proportions, right? Well, 73% of the U.S. population being white and 72% and 75% of bachelor's degrees and doctorate degrees being awarded to white students. So that is almost very closely in direct proportion of the white population. So apparently there's, but wait a minute. If theirs is in proportion, right? So it's not so much that the white students, there's a whiteness problem in physics, but I'll tell you why there is later. But so that's proportionate to the population. So could it just be that Black students aren't taking physics? Or maybe there's some issues with how many Black students are graduating from high schools, which in most places, probably, I'm going to say, if you go across the nation, I'm sure it's better than certain cities where they're not, where we're not as a demographic. But so if you're saying it needs to be proportionate and 16% of the population are black and 3% of bachelor's degrees are black, that means there's 13% of those bachelor's degrees that are going to someone else, or disproportionately someone else. But wait a minute. But the white people, especially in bachelor's degrees, it's 1% less than the population. So that's 14%. There's 14% that aren't going to black people or white people, that if you go by critical race theory, they should. Where are they going? They might be going to other demographics. Now, but so wait a minute. Maybe, and why would they say white supremacy? That would just be, in this case, because if it was white supremacy, the white people would be taking all the black spots in the physics bachelor's degrees and doctorates, but they're not. They're an exact proportion to the population of white people. So maybe there's other demographic supremacy that's taking off the black people's physics degrees. Or there's just not as many black kids interested in physics. I don't know. But they're trying to say that this is a evidence of white supremacy. Well, no, because white people are getting degrees in physics less than their population, slightly. Now, the doctorate's 75%, a little more, but still that doesn't make up for the black people that are not getting physics degrees. All right, let me move on. For physics educators and physics education researchers, this outcome and others like it motivate questions about what is happening at the level of classrooms and universities that constructs and maintains whiteness. Well, whiteness are at the proper proportion, aren't they? They're the proper ratio of white people to population. So it's not much whiteness. But recent work by physicists and physics students of color point to a number of mechanisms, from being repeatedly asked why they are in physics courses or told to change majors. Oh my God, they have references for that too. To suffering unequal consequences for engaging in physics norms of competitive argumentation. Really? To needing to fragment themselves to participate in local physics culture. There's physics culture now. To experiencing tone policing when advocating for social change in their departments. What is this physics? What social change? It's science. Blinding me with science. This paper seeks to amplify these voices and add to this growing body of literature. There's a growing body of literature of critical whiteness theory and critical race theory in physics. There's a growing body of literature. How about having a growing body of literature of study your physics, you dumbass? Anyway, okay, come on. Let me get out of this. This paper seeks to amplify voices and add to this growing body of literature. Specifically, we focus on the reproduction of whiteness in an introductory physics classroom, illustrating what this process looks like and identifying some tools, practices, and disciplinary values that reify, whatever that means, and reconstitute it. Drawing on case study analytic techniques and critical whiteness studies, our purpose is to make whiteness visible, both for instructors who may wish to identify whiteness in real-time interaction and for researchers who may wish to study it. The first paper presents, I'm going to skip down here because down here, and this is the footnotes. In this paper, most cases we choose not to capitalize white. They don't capitalize white in the paper, by the way, but they do capitalize Black, Hispanic, and students or people of color. The exception is when referring to critical whiteness studies, which is a formal term that is capitalized in the literature. This choice is informed by critical scholarship and activism, such that by Dumas and the POC and PER group. For example, Dumas writes that Black is a self-determined name of a racialized social group that shares a specific set of histories, cultural processes, and imagined and performed kinships. White, on the other hand, is a socially constructed category that was created for the purpose of dominance and exclusion. It does not describe a group with a sense of common experiences or kinship outside of acts of colonization or terror. So, and then they do. She does take a shot at Robin DiAngelo, the critical. What's her? What she write something about whiteness? DiAngelo, a white woman, has been critiqued by activists of color for profiting from her work on whiteness. Anyway, but okay. So as you get into this paper, though, I just got to laugh at a couple things. So I'm not going to go through anymore, but I'll put a link to it, and you can, if you want to do a video on this that's more in depth, you can. They talk about how raising your hand. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. They talk about how raising your hand is whiteness. They say using a whiteboard is whiteness. In fact, let's see here. Maybe I can find it right here. So one central goal of critical whiteness studies is to make whiteness visible, to unmask the racial character of many of these normative practices and beliefs. So it's an education where everyone is being educated. The normative practices and beliefs are whiteness. And if you do it the normal way, it's whiteness. And if you, trust me, that's what they're saying. A central premise is taken for, the central premise of critical whiteness studies is that the taken for granted and invisible nature of whiteness is they just say whiteness over and over again, is a primary means through which white dominance goes unchallenged, such that making whiteness visible is one way to disrupt white dominance. Did you catch that? CWS argues that whiteness hiddenness is grounded in the dynamics of dominant group status. You mean majority? Since the socio-politically and historically numerically dominant group have been able to appropriate the social and cultural mainstream and make white understandings and practices normative. This is physics. This isn't sociology. This isn't like determining what music awards people get. It's physics. It's not subjective. It's numbers and math and angles and curvatures and shit like that. This is not, it's, oh my God. Do you think the women who helped with the moon landing, the Hidden Colors movie, they helped in the mathematicians, do you think they were thinking about whiteness when they were making all these calculations they were doing on the board? Of course, they used a blackboard then because it was chalk and black, but now we use whiteboards. But back then it was a blackboard. But that was racist too. Because for calling it a blackboard and you're putting white all over the blackboard, it's... Please, I just need to take a deep breath. Thus, critical white studies maintains that whiteness is a social organization linked to dominance and control. Whiteness is a social organization produces and centers and margins those who are dominant, hold privilege and power and control access to the center and its attendant privileges. In this framework, a critique of white racial supremacy revolves less around unearned advantages or the state of being dominant and more around direct processes that secure domination and the privileges associated with it. Because whiteness is often invisible and normative, evidence for whiteness is often named in terms of outcomes. Oh, because there's different outcomes. Yeah. So anytime the outcomes are not perfectly in proportion with your population, then it's automatically whiteness or racist. Also, as I read this thing, because I've read more of this, but I'm not gonna, there's too much of this. They also consider, so the study they do, they have these students, right? And the research methods too. They have these students, and but there's a guy that's a Middle Eastern guy, right? He's Middle East is one of the main subjects here, and the Middle Eastern student answers questions just like all the rest of the students, but they are considering the Middle Eastern student for this purpose of this paper, whatever. They consider him white. They don't count him as a person of color because he raises his hand and he's leading class discussion and he's centered. But they're saying because the United States Census has most Middle Eastern people listed themselves as white, although there is a Middle Eastern, there's a checkbox for Middle Eastern whatever now, but there used to be where Middle Eastern people just list themselves as white. Because they do that, they don't count him as a person of color at all. So he's not even considered a person of color. He's one of those white Hispanics. I mean, well, no, we're not going to go with George Zimmerman, but anyway, the paper is a mastery of word salad. So anyway, if you want to read it, it's amazing. You should read the whole thing though. It takes a while, but you just be like, oh my God, I can't believe they keep doing this. So anyway, all right, enough of that for now. Let me get to the green room here. Jimmy may have figured this out. Let's see if Jimmy figured this out, and then Bully Rook, I'll have you in next. All right, Jimmy, are you?
Yeah, I'm here.
Now?
I'm here. Can you understand me? Can you understand me? I'm muted.
No, you're not muted.
Fuck.
I can hear you.
How am I muted?
There's no mute there. Jimmy, you look great. In fact, there's a good shot of Jimmy.
Can you hear me? You can't hear me?
I can't hear you, Jimmy.
You can.
No, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me.
We're going to figure it out later, Jimmy. We'll try it again
fuck.
a little bit. You got to mute yourself. Unmute. Well, it says you're not muted, so I got no sound from you. All right, let's put on Bully Rook. Bully Rook, what's happening?
And happy birthday to you.
Hang on. Maybe I've got
What, am I muted too?
No, I got these turned up. I got that turned up. I got that turned up. Bully Rook's not muted.
Can you hear me at all now?
Hang on. I'm assuming you all can hear me, right? Can you all hear me? Obviously, you'd be telling me forever. Yeah, you're probably my favorite Canadians in the house. Why can't I hear these guys?
Anything now?
Hang on.
Is it like a source thing?
Ah, there we go. I got you. All right. Bully Rook, what's happening? I got you here.
And happy birthday to you.
Oh, thank you. Jimmy, if you can hear me, just jump back in. I accidentally hit a mute button while I was here. All right, Bully Rook, what's happening, my friend?
Well, celebrating my birthday as well.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah.
Is today your birthday?
Well, this week, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Because as I say, because it's Mike Savage's birthday. It's who else is what's her name? Oh, anyway, there's a bunch of people's birthdays today. So I'm just like, everyone's birthday's in April. Which
yeah,
means
all cool people got born.
So July must be one of those months where people get freaky deaky because a lot of us were born in April. So what's up?
Funny enough, you talk about this. This is actually an area that I'm kind of an expert in.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I'm a scientist, and I work a lot with physicists and chemists, and biologists.
Okay.
So first and foremost, almost all the grad schools are just crawling with foreigners. There's a handful of Americans, and everyone else is from other countries.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them are Middle Eastern, because it's a normal tradition for Middle Eastern women to go and get a degree, usually an advanced degree, before they get married.
Hmm.
So
Really?
Yes, that inflates a lot of the numbers.
Okay.
And they're going to be considered white. Same with rich Mexicans; they're also considered white.
Mm-hmm.
So, and since the sea change, Asians are now white. So that means the majority of your Chinese and your Indians are also going to be counted as white now.
Well, for the study though, so then what are the other, let's see, so you got 70, let's say 72% plus 3%, 75%. Then I'm wondering what the other 25% they're talking about here is. I didn't really get that in this.
I'm probably gonna gamble American Hispanics.
I suppose it could be. Yeah.
And oh well, a lot of the other South Americans, because
Oh, I
pretty
missed
much
a section here. I see.
pretty much Mexico, a lot of the, if you make enough money in Mexico, you say you're white. It's just how it is.
Well, yeah, no, I know the white Hispanic angle. I mean, I get that,
But like if you're Colombian, if you're Brazilian, Panamanian, you're gonna be in the Latino world
okay.
and get counted in with that.
Well, yeah, no, but this study, I mean, it's like it's brain bruising, because I swear as many times as they said the word whiteness in this thing, as I was reading through it, I was like, so I mean, they're like, raising your hand is whiteness, and calling on students that are white and not calling on students that are of color is whiteness, and everything was whiteness. And it's like,
Oh yeah,
well,
absolutely. Anything positive is whiteness to these people. I don't understand this level of just unbridled racism.
well, I
Jesus,
think
at least
because and again, they also try to make it based on outcomes. Well, are there as many black students in the science going to, but it's funny because so I grew up a guy, I played with football in high school with a guy who, single mother, black guy, very lower on the lower economic scale, and he loved physics, man. And so his favorite teacher was the physics teacher. And I remember taking physics. He was totally in it. He took physics his junior year, like a bunch of us did. And then I'm like, I dropped out of science after that. But and then he went and took AP physics, and then he majored in physics in college. He's a professor at physics at Northwestern University now. And he's absolutely a American descendant of slave black guy that just loves physics. And now I want to, next time I talk to him, because our reunion is coming up here, and I know I'll see him at our reunion. I want to print this study out and ask him about it. And or I might even see if I can call him up and maybe have him come on and talk about this just as a separate video. But it's just weird things, man.
Well, I mean, a lot of people, well, if you're really smart, you don't get a PhD, especially in a base science, because there's no money in it.
Well,
I mean,
pretty much the only reason to do it is to teach, isn't it?
yeah. Well, in a lot of the base sciences, so you can get a master's in engineering, a PhD in engineering, a PhD in education, or a PhD in math, and you are going to be able to make a profitable living in the private sector. Same is also true for certain disciplines of chemistry, like an analytical chemist or an organic chemist. They can get a job working at a drug company or an airplane company. Same with material sciences too, which is wiggy. But everything else is that's all academics, and there's no money, and teaching is a literal hell, especially with what's going on in the colleges.
Really? Well, I'm gonna have to ask about that. Good afternoon, Elite Selling Toys who laughed, rich Mexicans last. Wealthy Mexican nationals, not like rich, not in the United States, wealthy Mexican nationals that come over here to study. I think that's what you meant, wasn't it, Billy?
Yeah, well, almost. I specifically mean Mexicans from Mexico City,
Yeah,
Mexico City, Mexicans.
From Mexico who are wealthy and come to do their schoolwork in the United States. That's what he meant. Hoodrich is when you have several EBT cards under one roof. Okay, that's funny. Anyway, welcome. Jimmy Phillips, StreamYard's StreamYard's link. Okay. I think I had it in the chat. Here, just a second. That's not it. Hang on. What did I do? See, now sometimes I don't do things correctly. Hang on. Anything? What else is going on?
Not much. I'm making some candy. That's my new endeavor. I make candy now.
Oh, do you? What kind of candy you make?
I am making chocolates and gummy bears. Specifically, I'm recreating the old world sculptures in gummy form. That is my life.
Oh wow! Are you?
Yeah.
Do you add any special juices to those gummies?
Vodka.
Oh, okay. 'Cause, I thought maybe because me and my edibles experience, I try to avoid that shit.
Well, not federally legal yet, so no go.
Oh, okay, cool. Good afternoon, old guy gamer. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Appreciate it. Or salutations. I'm getting this figured out. So, anything in the news that in particular that has stoked your interest lately that you want to talk about?
I'm glad that Florida passed the anti-groomer bill, and I'm hoping to see more legislation across that in our great nation to protect our nation's children.
Okay. And I talked about a little bit about that this morning, because it's in fact there's obviously a lot of the talk about that is based on obvious misinterpretation of the bill. And here, hang on, what was I talking? Where is that? Oh shoot, I doggone it.
It's willful ignorance. It's not misinterpretation. It's people that have a good talking point that are driving that home for political reasons because they want to do this.
Right. No, that's just it. And we saw an example of it this morning. A first grade teacher had a first grade teacher was showing a animated video of talking to first graders about touching themselves, basically on masturbation. And it's like, why do you need to teach first graders that? I didn't understand that. I didn't understand that at all. And so I'm like, this is what the bill is for, because parents were objecting to it. This was at a private school. And
as they should.
And so anyway, it's just really weird shit. I gotta tell you.
This is what Bill Clinton fired his health secretary over, is in wanting to put in masturbation into the public health curricula.
Oh, you talking about Jocelyn Elders?
Yeah.
Oh, is that I remember I remember she got in trouble. There was a little firestorm about her talking about that. And I look, there's nothing wrong with masturbation. I don't care, but they don't need to teach the first graders. Like they aren't even thinking. That's the farthest thing from their mind. You know, they just want to see if they can. How about we just teach them to do some math and read and maybe spell and write and shit, because that's what you should be doing in first grade. That's age appropriate.
I'm 100% sure they will figure it out on their own.
Well, that too, but I guess I don't have any problem with age appropriate sex education. And the Florida bill, says, okay, it needs to be age appropriate.
How about we teach them biology?
After this, basic biology, you know what I mean? And then I suppose later on, as their bodies change, you can kind of explain, hey, here's what's happening to you, here's this and that. But why first grade? There's no reason to. They haven't the first inkling of what, anything that has to do with that. So it's like, I don't know.
This is for the teachers. There's no way.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is.
So, I mean, that is a fact with predators, is they often seek jobs where they have direct access to children.
Okay.
That's just a fact. So the teachers is one of those jobs.
Yeah, I mean, well, I can't look. They are few and far between. And so there's hundreds of thousands of teachers in the country, but
2% of any given population is a predator.
Okay. There you go.
1%, and let's see here, was it 2% of predators, 1% have schizophrenia? Well, these are just statistics. So remember, when someone's doing something crazy, there's a good chance they're hearing voices.
Okay. There you go. And
All right.
on that note, anything else you got? What do you got?
No. Again, happy birthday. Thanks for having me on.
What day is your birthday?
I like to keep it vague this week.
Oh, okay. It was just this sometime in early April. So Aries unite. Okay. All right.
Indeed.
All right, cool. Nice to have you on. I'm gonna bring on someone else. Thank you very much, and you have a great day, man.
You too, sir. Bye.
All right, take it easy. All right, Jimmy. We're gonna try it one more time, brother. We're gonna try it one more time. This is our friend Jimmy from Philly. Wiped.
So can you hear me now?
I can't hear you. It's my fault. I was
No.
trying to make that screen bigger, and it didn't work. And then I actually muted my muted you.
I just climbed this big fucking hill to get higher, so I could get better
You're
reception.
getting high, Jimmy? Is that what you're saying? Did you just say you're getting high?
No, I climbed the hill to get higher.
Yes, to get higher means you're high.
No, I climbed a hill to get better reception.
Oh.
Yeah,
But you're high now, right?
Because I'm in a valley, but I climbed the hill so I could get better reception.
Well, Jimmy, the things you do to make my show better, I appreciate you. In fact, there's the bell. So what's happening, Jimmy? I see you got your channel back.
Yeah.
Out as just Jimmy from Philly now, as opposed to Jimmy from Philly Wiped. What's happening, Jimmy?
We were happy I could climb this fucking giant hill.
Uh-oh, now you're roboting.
I guess you can hear me, right?
Oh yeah, okay, again.
I'm still a little out of breath.
No. And because you're drinking beer while you're on a hike. Who drinks beer on a hike?
Yeah. I was carrying the beer up the hill.
I mean, that's not a hike. That's just a walk with a beer.
Yeah, well, if you see this hill, where I just climbed to talk to you, it's no fucking joke. I do it all the time, but
All right. Hey,
so how you doing? Is your birthday? Is it your birthday?
It's my birthday today, yeah. That's why I'm doing a birthday. That's why it's called a birthday stream,
okay,
Jimmy.
right.
Why would I call it a birthday stream if it wasn't my birthday?
Happy birthday. My birthday is April 16th.
Oh, awesome. Cool. Yeah, no, thank you very much. Yeah. Hey, so
are you an Aries? You're not an Aries.
Yes, Aries is like the last week of March into the middle of April or something like that.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
All right.
I am an Aries.
All right. I knew I liked you for some reason.
Well, there you go. How's the landlord situation? Because you were having
well,
issues.
I got a court date. I got a court date next Monday. A ton of money, but on court date.
Oh, you're roboting.
Honey,
Jimmy, you sound like I'm doing dial-up AOL right now.
well, I'll let you go because I know it's difficult to listen to somebody underwater.
Oh, now I can hear you. I don't get it.
Oh, you can hear me now?
Yeah, I can.
Well, the landlord thing, I got a court date Monday, and me owing her money at this time of the year isn't any different than any other year. She's always worked with me, but when I refused to do the duties that I was doing for nothing, she never paid me anything. Now she wants me out. So I think the judge will work with me on rent. If she doesn't, I'll just move. I mean, what are you going to do?
Man, well, I hope that all works out for you, Jimmy.
Yeah. So will I sound like I'm underwater?
a little bit, yeah, here and there. So, but anyway, so yeah, check out Jimmy from Philly. fun to listen to. Usually drinks beer while he's while he's streaming, and it's just a fun time. So anyway, all right.
I'll let
So
you go, man. I know it's tough to fucking understand me.
all right, take it easy,
All right.
Jimmy.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Moon, I see you, man. Moon, I see you in the green room. You're up next. Let me just say hi to a few people that I haven't said hi to yet. So, Elite Sally Toys, I'm glad that you were here. Also, obviously, Moon's here. Zach to the Future, Brandon Narlo, and Renee Mayan. I don't know if I said hi to you yet. And Cool Frog. Cool Frog, I was listening to your stream. Was it last night or this morning? I can't remember. I was listening to you. I can't remember what you guys are talking about. Anyway, all right. Next on deck is the lovely young lady who did the artwork. If you've seen it on my Twitter feed, she did some cartoon caricatures of myself, of Ruin Leon, and of Christian Watson. The lovely artist known as Moon. Moon!
Hey,
What's up, Moon?
I'm doing good.
What are you up to?
Well, not much nowadays. Just I guess preparing for college classes this fall.
Okay, is it your first year? You're
I say second degree. I'm trying to get into accounting. To a career that I can make money off on.
Oh wow. Okay. Do you already have one degree? Is it?
Yeah, it was for creative writing, but I don't think it'll get me that far.
No. What have you tried to do with that?
I wanted to write a book, but I think I want to try something more practical because I'm trying to, get into something that I feel like I contribute better in.
Right. So accounting could be like your income job, and then you could do creative writing on the side, maybe.
Well, now I just do that for a hobby. I still like doing it. It's kind of a habit, but
Okay.
But I wanted to say to you, here, happy birthday, and I'm happy that you made it to 800 episodes.
Oh, thank you so much. Real quick, let me ask you about the art thing though.
Mhm.
What do you do with that? Besides, I see you do some stuff for I love the little graphic you did for my show. What else do you do? Do you write any like storyboards or anything like that with that?
Oh, no, I'm more of a character designer than a storyboarder. I just
Okay.
like coming up with ideas and characters, how they look and such, and
Okay.
a little bit of writing for their stories and such, but that's pretty much it.
Okay. Because my daughter does a little bit of that too, and I can't remember I always forget the name of the site. There's a site like I wonder if I can find it here. I bet it's in my email somewhere. Or no, I'm subscribed to it too. I just don't know where to find it. I can find it on my phone. Oh, I know. Where's my phone? Where the hell's my phone? There it is. Let me look this up. Hang on a second. I want to bring this up because it's Webtoon. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, I used to read a few comics there. I think I kind of saw that your daughter, right? Like she draws comics, right?
Yes.
Yes.
She has one called it's called Mighty Nice. And it's just kind of her doing a comic strip of her experience being a new mother. It's actually kind of funny. But I don't know but anyway, yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff on there. I didn't know if you had ever done anything like that but
I have actually made comics, but that's just for fun.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
I just think it's cool, and I appreciate you doing that for me. That was like a really nice surprise.
No problem. It's fun to draw, for creators I like to follow.
Sure. Well, that is great, and I appreciate you. So, anything you want to add before I move on?
No, just wanted to say happy birthday and such, and I wish you a nice day as well.
Well, thank you so much, and I wish you the same. And thanks for coming on.
All right, see ya.
All right, bye bye. That was Moon, everybody, and watch for her in the chat. She's been in the chat quite a bit, or not quite a bit, but recently since I think she found me on Leon's stream, and it's been a lot of fun. So moving on, we got Cool Frog. Cool Frog, what's happening?
Aries unite.
So what's going on? I was just watching your stream the other day, and I think there were.
Was last night's laser induced graphene?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, very interesting stuff. Very, very, very interesting how you can actually get a buildup of residue to actually turn into something that could actually push out capacity of energy and actually do something like make flexible capacitors and stuff or whatever. It's very, very interesting what you could actually do with it.
Yeah, no, it was really interesting because you were talking about. So, explain a little bit to people who didn't hear that stream that how you were making things. You explain it because
Well, so then basically we were just showing videos that you can actually go and you can actually purchase for like about $300 a little laser with a gantry and all to actually create like laser engraved etchings or cutouts of different things or whatever. So then basically when you burn wood, you actually create like this residue, which is considered graphene, which is this now. So if anybody's paid attention to like a Tim Pool, Ian, like he's always pushing graphene as the something of the future or whatever. And that's basically what the episode was about. Because if you actually look at that thumbnail, it says Ian was right. And it was basically he was right. It's just like graphene is basically the wave of the future. And you're going to see so many different types of electronics being built with flexible use. We actually got into talking about how you could actually put it in, like layer it with your inside your plywood, and you can make your it easier to traverse electricity across the room. It's kind of an interesting idea. Right. I would totally suggest everybody should go check that episode out last night or whatever. We do kind of go off a little bit towards the end. We kind of start talking about some stuff that's not even relevant to the story or whatever, because we were just having fun, but I mean, it really, really seriously is an interesting concept with laser induced graphenes.
So what is your, obviously you have some kind of a technical background.
So I went to college. I did take I have a machine tool and die degree, which I was doing a lot of CNC work with, so computer, aided, machines. I did go back to school and I took like a network administration courses or whatever. So then I had a diploma in that as well as an accounting diploma. So, I mean, I kind of had a few things that I had going for me, as well as eventually becoming like a manager of a Radio Shack. And then having these technical background, I really learned a lot. And I was actually able to implement a lot of different thought process into doing things. Over the last few years, I mean, I've kind of pushed away from that side of it or whatever, but it's really hard to push away from it or whatever. And you kind of, it's always something that's in the back of your head that you just always remember how things work, how the difference between capacitors and diodes and how current can actually, flow. And when you actually start talking about, laser induced graphenes after playing with lasers for years, you're like, it's really interesting what the future can actually become.
Yeah, that is wild. No, I was listening. I was fascinated by it. But
that's awesome that you're listening. That makes me happy to know that there's somebody out there that's actually listening.
Because your stream is fairly new, isn't it? Like
we're seriously we've only been doing this for 6-7 months now.
Yeah,
it's really, really new. I want to say it was like, I don't know what I have, like 80 episodes out, something like that.
Okay. And you don't always talk about technical shit. I mean,
No, absolutely. It's usually mainly politics. Like if you went and looked for the last week or whatever, you would have seen that there's 3 different episodes that had something to do with Trump derangement syndrome,
which is rampant.
Right, which is very easy to come across. You know, it's like you can pull up almost anybody in politics, and you could ask them, go through any transcript of a day, and you can actually see that they brought up his name for some reason.
Oh yeah, it gets invoked just about anything. I mean, whether it's especially if it's something, if there's anything negative, like about, say, the Biden administration or something, or anything that is just slightly negative, but anyway, somehow Trump's name gets invoked, and it's almost comical, especially when you're there. Well, what about Trump? What about this? It's, they always complain about whataboutisms, but what about Trump is their favorite go-to, and it's hilarious. So anyway.
So there's basically on a personal note. So my birthday is actually tomorrow. So that's a happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to everybody in chat, because apparently all of us have a birthday within the next week or two.
Yeah. Wow. Excuse me. So anything else you want to pop in here?
Like you said, you should go check out that episode from last night. It was very, very interesting. If anything, I do a slightly different with my Discord. I give out Discord links to subscriptions. So anybody subscribe, I'll actually give them a Discord link, and they can actually come talk to me or anybody else that's on my show on a regular basis. Like we use our Discord every day for long periods of time, almost, where we hang out with each other, we watch movies, we chit chat about laser-induced graphene or Trump or the coup or whatever, whatever's Ukraine, whatever's the recent story of the day.
Sure.
And then midnight we usually go live, and then we go and we talk about something. And that's why, you really don't get too much of a crowd, because, it's kind of flooded at that moment with, Nick Ricade is usually doing a show or whatever. Yeah. So then you're really not going to pick up too much of a crowd. But I do get a couple people that come in and they'll actually talk with us. These guys are very intelligent. These guys that are out there, they're like, is super intelligent, group of people that I actually ran into, that I actually talk to on a regular basis.
Cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
All right, man. Well, thanks.
And then I go out and I find people like you, and I'm like, yeah, this guy's awesome. You should go talk to this guy. So yeah, everybody should actually sub to Dawg Knight if they haven't already.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And happy birthday tomorrow. That's funny. So many people have birthdays right now. It's kind of crazy.
It's amazing.
All right, man. Well, thank you for dropping in, and you have a wonderful birthday tomorrow. If I don't see you around then.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Yeah. Happy birthday. Have a good one.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right. So now let me go into another story here, because this one I caught this one this morning I noticed it on Twitter, and there's this woman who does a radio show at WMAL. I'm not sure where. Let's see. I'm not sure where that station is, but apparently they fired this woman. Her name is Amber Athey, because some trans extremists ginned up a cancel campaign against her. If our own media outlets are, and this is who's wrote this one? I think it was Ace who wrote this one on Ace of Spades blog. Yes. So let me give just the Reader's Digest version of what happened. So I think it was the State of the Union. As you see, here's a picture of Nancy Pelosi and Kamala Harris. And Kamala Harris wore this brown suit. And it was the exact same color as the brown chair. So she was kind of blending into the brown chair. Her suit it was on her chair. So basically all you could see was her head. And so a lot of people were snarking about that on the internet about, the brown suit kind of just wasn't the greatest choice. It was just kind of throwaway, kind of goof on Kamala Harris. Well, this Amber Athey, who's a radio talk show. She's on a show with someone named Larry O'Connor. There's like they have 3 or 4 people in the talk show, kind of like you'd see at Tim Pool or whatever. Just a multi people on a radio morning show kind of thing. And she made a joke on Twitter. Said, Kamala looks like a UPS employee. What can Brown do for you? Nothing good, apparently. And so now, if you're not familiar, me being a person of color and a UPS employee, I immediately got the joke because UPS used to have a slogan, a commercial, a TV commercial, an ad, print ad, and everything. That their thing was, "What can Brown do for you?" Because UPSers are known as Brown. We just say we're Brown, or if you're gonna see your ship it Brown, right? And no one thought anything about it because that was the UPS slogan, and the brown suit made her kind of blend into the chair, and everyone was kind of giving her shit about that, right? And it was all over Twitter. Everyone was making fun of the brown suit. And no one really thought anything about it. This joke that Amber Athey said, anything at all, just another lame joke on Twitter, until Amber Athey upset some aggressively angry trans extremist fake gender cultists who got mad that she commented on their behavior in trying to shut down speech at University of North Texas. So what happened was, in fact, I think she did she write let's see, write this here yet? Yes, here's the article from Spectator World. We'll just go to her article. It's a lot easier to follow on here. She was fired for a joke about Kamala's outfit. Here's the story. And this is her in her own words. I'm no stranger to cancel culture, or what we more commonly known and accurately, in my opinion, as censorship. When I was one of a handful of conservatives on a liberal college campus, my peers on the left reported me to our resident advisor for creating an unsafe environment and demanded administration step in to cancel speaker events I hosted through the college Republicans. They later would ask the university to revoke my degree. Throughout my 6 years as a political journalist and commenter, left-wing activists have tried every trick in the book to drive me out of the industry, digging up old tweets, demeaning my appearance, and harassing my employers. None of it worked until now. About a month ago, I posted a tweet during the State of the Union address poking fun at Vice President Kamala Harris's outfit. Kamala wore a chocolate brown business suit that was panned on social media. And let's see what they're linked to. What she have for panned on here? Let's see. Let's see if there's any examples of panned. Yeah, this is the list. Kamala Harris' State of the Union ensemble had Americans scratching their heads. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of people talking about it here. A historic night for women is marred by fashion talk. So see, there's the suit, and she's got the chair is the same color anyway. Some users compared her to a Hershey's chocolate bar, while others wondered why she wore the same color as her chair. I went for a UPS joke featuring the company's now retired slogan, Kamala looks like a UPS employee. What can Brown do for you? Nothing good, apparently. That's about as good as a G.I. Jane joke, right? Nothing too racy or, well, now wait a minute, because some people would say,
That's racist!
but anyway, no one had a problem with the tweet until a few days later when I spoke critically of protests in favor of trans kids at the University of North Texas, a group of maniacal left-wing activists who want to chemically castrate children in the name of gender affirmation came after me. All of a sudden, the Kamala tweet was being reframed as, of course, racist.
That's racist!
And dozens of Twitter accounts were bragging about contacting my employer about my bigotry. Oh, yes, talking about a brown suit is bigotry. However, we'll just go on here. I've written about these dishonest smear campaigns in the past. People who engage in them do not actually care about stamping out racism or transphobia or whatever. They only use those labels because they know they are powerful tools for silencing their opponents. Exactly. I've been lucky enough to work with the Spectator magazine that understands and fights against censorship for the past 2 years. They laughed at and promptly deleted the angry emails about my Kamala tweet. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case for my radio station, WMAL. I was officially hired at WMAL, which is owned by Cumulus Media. This past fall is one of 3 female co-hosts of O'Connor and Company, the Morning Drive radio program. On March 9th, I co-hosted the show alongside my friend Larry O'Connor, just like I normally do on Wednesday mornings. It had been nearly a week since the social media meltdown over my Kamala tweet, and none of us at the show had a feeling that anything was amiss. Later that afternoon, just before 4 p.m., I received a call out of the blue from Jeff Bowden, the Vice President of Cumulus, Washington, D.C., and Kristen Vanchelis, the Vice President of Human Resources. They told me that the tweet I sent about Kamala was racist.
That's racist!
And that subsequent follow-ups defending myself and making fun of the efforts to cancel me were unacceptable. I had violated this company's social media policy, they said, and I was terminated effective immediately.
Wow.
They did not have the courtesy to offer me an opportunity to defend myself, nor did they speak to anyone at the program before handing down their decision, despite multiple appeals during which company officials admitted that the perception of racism was more important than whether or not my tweet was actually racist. The company has refused to reverse its decisions. The perception. Now, it doesn't even have to be racist.
That's racist!
It just has to be the perception of being racist.
That's racist!
Okay, I got a question. Can't anything be racist for that matter then? I'm not sure I get it. Anyway, real quick. Thank you, Tyre Alexander. Dropping a bullet in the tip jar who says, happy birthday. 100 is a long time. We need a Fauci ouchie for TDS. It is starting to mutate to cause infected to bleat like Aurelian sheeple at the mere image of the guy with the funny hair. And it's about to cause a terminal case of fascism. Okay, let me just tell you something. Well, I guess I'm closer to 100 than I am to 0. I'm not 100 though. Damn, that's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. Anyway, thank you so much, Tyre Alexander, for sponsoring the show, as you often do. You are greatly appreciated, sir. Okay, so, oh my God. So, despite multiple appeals during which company officials admitted that the perception of racism is more important than whether or not my tweet was actually racist, the company has refused to reverse its decision. Meanwhile, my image and bio are still being used on the WMAL website and social media channels to promote their programming. Oh my God, they haven't taken her picture down yet. I am racist enough not to be paid, but not so racist that my likeness cannot be affiliated with the station, apparently. All I wanted was my job back, but now I feel obligated to speak publicly about what has happened. This incident has destroyed the integrity and reputation of WMAL and Cumulus as hosts of conservative content. Yeah. Now let's go back to Ace talking about this because he's saying, so what Proud of Trouble, these activists got mad because they were saying that this at the University of North Texas, they had some I guess a person to come in to speak to students at University of Texas, like they just a college speaker. When the speakers come in for various things, right? Well, apparently they didn't like this particular speaker, Jeff Younger, because he was against puberty blockers and shit like that. So they had a protest, and here's what the protest looked like. So they seem stable. If you weren't sure what they were saying, they were yelling fucking fascists for this guy who came to talk at the University of North Texas. I guess they didn't want him to speak there, so they took over the entire section that the students were going to come and take. Now this says here's a clip. This is the only clip you need to see from the University of North Texas protest yesterday, because this is I think someone came in what do they do here? That seems normal. Anyway, so Amber Athey wrote critically of these angry, mentally ill fascists, because they're the fascists, not the speaker, but the people trying to shut down the speech. And they attempted to cancel her. So the attempt at the cancellation failed, and so they went looking for her social media to find something else they could cancel her for. They decided that they would claim that her UPS "What Can Brown Do For You" tweet was racist.
That's racist!
And use racism as their new justification for the cancellation. And then Cumulus Radio and WMAL they folded on something as simple as a joke about UPS. What can Brown do for you? They made a joke about a brown suit racist. Wow. There's what I meant to do. And also, let's see. Now, cancel hard and cancel irrevocably. It's time to make now. So the Ace here says it's time to make these woke corporations, especially the ones who rely on only conservative dollars to pay their salaries, that we do not give money to people who hate our guts, and that we do not support cowards. We cannot have people like this in any position of authority or influence in our movement. Maybe it's time to contact Cumulus advertisers and let them know we will also be boycotting anyone who advertises on the Cumulus. Now, I think boycotts don't do shit, but I think calling Cumulus and MWMAL may be effective. I mean, what did they do? They went and sent letters and emails and tweeted at them and calling it racist. Well, maybe if enough people flooded that station saying, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing, you morons?" So anyway, now he finished this with, apparently there's, we were talking about the Florida thing earlier today. And so he finished this one with, wait, what did I do there? No, add to stream. There we go. He finished it with this. Let me put this here. There we go. Apparently this drag king preschool teacher says she will not follow the laws of the parental rights bill in education. No, Siri, I'm not talking to you. Shut up. I don't want anything. I accidentally hit Siri. This is a preschool teacher in Florida explaining what she thinks of the parental rights and education bill.
So because I've been getting this question a lot lately, I am going to use this space to answer it. And that is, as a preschool teacher, a drag king, and as a member of the LGBT.
Wait, whoa. A drag king? Oh, it's like a drag queen, but going the other way. I mean, I don't understand. Whatever. Anyway, and lots Lots of people have been asking her this question. I'm sure that every parent in the preschool has been asking her this question because they all know that she's a drag king. What's the question that they're asking?
LGBTQ community. How do I feel about the new legislations for like the Don't Say Gay bill or
The what bill? Excuse me? The what bill? There is no Don't Say Gay bill. There's a parental rights and education bill. They really, the one thing that they did, and we saw the poll this morning. When people actually read the bill, there's a poll that we went through this morning. When people actually read the bill and then are polled about the bill, they support it like 2-1, almost 3-1. Even Democrats, 55% to 39% support the bill if you read the bill and don't go by Don't Say Gay. Now they're fighting it. If you see polls in this where they say, "Oh no, people don't agree with this," go in and see what the poll questions are. So, for example, because it varies wildly. If the poll question is, should you be able to teach principles of sex education or sex and gender in elementary schools? Well, then it's the opposite. 66% say yes. But then when you tell them that this bill only restricts it under age 9 and under, kindergarten through 3rd grade, they support this bill if you actually read the bill as the parental rights and education bill. Again, 68% support it. 55% of Democrats support it. So there you go. Female, well, no, she's a performer who performs in drag, but as a woman as a man, versus a performer who performs in drag as a man who performs as a woman in drag. But they're not transgendered. Drag kings or drag queens are generally not, or whatever, performers aren't necessarily they don't consider themselves transgender because they still identify as their the gender that matches their sex. That's the way I will put it. Anyway, let's see here's what she says though.
The reporting of transgender kids. And while I don't see things like that too much
what? Wait. What did she say?
Transgender kids. And while
hang on.
About the new legislations for like the Don't Say Gay bill or the reporting of transgender kids.
Oh, what she's saying there. So if the bill says that if anytime the school includes services for a child for their physical health, mental health, or physical well-being, they must notify the parents. Any changes in the child's health, wellness, or mental well-being. They are arguing that they shouldn't have to do that, especially when it comes to gender things. That they're against the idea that because what happens is they will automatically, if a girl shows even the hint of a tomboyish tendency, they're going to tell that little girl that she's a boy, she's a trans boy. That's what they're trying to. Why, I don't know. They just don't let kids be kids. Or if a boy seems feminine, they try to convince the boy that he might be a trans girl. He might be, and it's like, and you wouldn't. This bill forces them or requires them to notify the parents of what's going on with their kid. Do you think it's appropriate that parents should be notified about anything changes and about the health or well-being of their child? I think that's pretty basic shit. They're not the school's child. They're the parent's child. So it seems like, unless there's, I don't know, danger, but she doesn't like that. She does not like that at all, that you have to report transgender kids. First of all, you're a preschool teacher. You're a preschool teacher. you think you might have some trans kids in your preschool, or are you just, you know what? I bet if you if you have someone who's that you can make them, have them think that, right? Make them think that. And then you praise them for being their true self. What do you think they're going to do? They know they get praise for doing it. What happens to the other kids? They see one kid get praised for doing it. Oh, well, maybe I am too. Oh. Anyway, let her finish.
I don't see things like that too much in preschool.
Good, you don't. You shouldn't
My
see it at
opinion
all.
on it is that I don't care what the government tells me to do. I am going to do what I think is best for the health and safety. And that includes mental health and safety and emotional health and safety of my kids. I will never let any child come through my classroom feeling unloved or ashamed for who they are.
Bitch, please. Probably shouldn't call her that. All that's great. I absolutely agree that you should do whatever you can to help the mental health, physical well-being, and whatever safety of the children that are under your charge. All this bill says is that you also have to let the parents know. So if you can't do that, bye-bye. Get out. Get out. Anyway. So that's what we're dealing with. And this poor lady who got fired from a radio station for making a joke about Kamala Harris's suit, these are the people that came and said, that's racist.
That's racist.
Hello, Bobcat Klein. How are you? Nice to see you. Welcome to the show. Yeah, they're not your kids. Good point, Kiefer. They're not your freaking kids. You freak. Anyway, heckler's veto. Oh yeah, heckler's veto. I hate heckler's vetoes. Hi, Sydney. Hi, Sydney. Nice to have you. I got your DM and I couldn't go on the Skype call today because I was working, so I apologize. But thank you so much for your birthday wishes. I really appreciate it. Okay, let's move on here, as I had another one. What else were we going to talk about? Yeah, Kamala's brown suit. Holy shit. Oh, this is interesting. And something fascinating happened that just is starting to get some attention. Apparently, Elon Musk, the rich guy from Tesla and SpaceX and all that, right? Well, Elon Musk has been talking a lot about free speech lately. He's pretty on that. He just really believes in free speech and how it's, a lot of times things are being censored and whatever, even though it's not government censorship, it's still censorship, right? On some of the social media platforms. So he's been talking about possibly, starting his own social media, network or social media, site, kind of to compete with Twitter, right? Well, something happened today that may surprise you. Just a little while ago, in fact, Elon Musk. Oops, hang on a second. Elon Musk. First of all, he tweeted this. Oh, hi, LOL. That's a real tweet. Yes. In fact, I think it's probably right there. Is this it right here? Let's see here what he did. This is a tweet he did. Let's see. Is this a thread though? Come on, my computer's slow when I run StreamYards, so bear with me. Oh, hi, LOL, because he's on Twitter, right? So anyway, a couple weeks ago, he put up a poll asking if Twitter fulfills its necessary function as an open market for ideas and if it was sufficiently dedicated to free speech. He cautioned people to think carefully because their answers would be consequential. 70% of respondents said, That's what they said. They said no. They said hell no. 70%. They said Twitter does not value free speech. Well, now Elon Musk is the largest shareholder at Twitter. Let's see how long this takes to pop up. Bloomberg News. Elon Musk takes a 9.2% share or stake in Twitter after hinting at a shakeup. The Tesla CEO has regularly questioned Silicon Valley giants. Shares in the platform jumped as much as 26%, the most since 2018, because their stock has been going into the crapper. It's Twitter stock. So anyway, obviously, so now he's the biggest shareholder, and his stake is worth over $2.7 billion. Obviously, he's not a majority shareholder, but he is big enough to start making demands. He took a 9.2% stake in Twitter, becoming the platform's biggest shareholder a week after hinting he might shake up the social media industry. Musk 50 polled his more than 80 million followers on Twitter last month, asking them whether the company adheres to principles of free speech. After more than 70% said no, he asked whether a new platform was needed and said he was giving serious thought of starting his own. Now, I wonder if that was a fake out, or was it if he claimed he was going to start a competitor to Twitter to reduce the price of Twitter shares so that he could buy his stakes more cheaply. Twitter previously bowed to pressure from large stakeholders. Now, Twitter is particularly vulnerable to outside pressure because, unlike Google, Facebook, Amazon, and Snap, the company's founder don't have special voting control over its future. The company has just recovered from activist pressure by Elliott Management that started in 2020, which led Jack Dorsey to leave Twitter. Now, it's unclear what Musk is planning with his stake. The filing with the SEC shows that the date of the event that triggered the disclosure was March 14th. The type of form used often indicates the investor isn't seeking to acquire control of the company or to influence who controls it. Now, obviously, he has an interest in reshaping Twitter. Looks like Elon has his eyes laser set on Twitter, said Wellbush analyst Dan Ives in a research note, adding that the state could lead to a more aggressive ownership role. Twitter stock prices surged on the revelation that Musk had taken a big position in it, which wound up making Musk over $1 billion in a few weeks. Musk is already the world's richest person, according to Bloomberg Billionaires Index, and has made about $1.1 billion on his holdings since mid-March, based on the pop in Twitter shares in early trading Monday. Now, unfortunately, speaking of social media places, Gray, what's up, man? Jack's feminist nose ring was not nearly as bright as it thought he was. No, it was not. It certainly wasn't. Now, on another note, unfortunately, Trump's Truth Social, which it's funny because I'm on multiple social media platforms where I do my my notifications. I'm on Twitter, Minds, Gab, Parler, CloudHub, and Getter, but I'm not on Trump's Social. I'm not ready. I'm not, there's something in my brain going, this ain't it. And the other ones aren't necessarily either, but they do have regular traffic on those other sites. I just don't feel the Trump Social thing for some reason. Anyway, unfortunately, Trump's Truth Social continues lagging. Two Southern tech entrepreneurs had the two qualities that Donald Trump's Truth Social startup needed: tech industry expertise and a politically conservative worldview aligned with the former president, a rare combination in the liberal leading industries centered in San Francisco. I'll make sure that article is open too. We'll open that link. Josh Adams and Billy Boozer, the company's chiefs of technology and product development, joined the venture last year and quickly became central players in its bid to build a social media empire backed by Trump's powerful brand to counter what many conservatives derive as cancel culture censorship from the left. Less than a year later, both have resigned their senior posts in a critical juncture for the company's smartphone app release plans, according to two sources familiar with the venture. The departure follows followed the troubled launch of the company's iPhone app on February 20th. Weeks later, many users remained on a waiting list, unable to access the platform. Trump Media and Technology Group, TMTG, Chief Executive Devin Nunes, a former Republican congressman, said publicly that the company aimed to make the app fully operational within the United States by the end of March. The company has an app for iPhones, but no app for Android phones, which comprise more than 40% of the U.S. market, though the company has advertised seeking an engineer to build one. And here's Ryan Long and Danny Polishuk. We'll just watch this video real quick. This is funny. They had a, actually, I'm not going to show this. Stop, please stop. I will put a link to the YouTube because they talked at length about this on Ryan. I think it was on Ryan Long's channel. So I'll just leave a link to that up there. Good afternoon, Select Boy.
Yeah, boy.
Nice to see you. Okay, well, eventually that's going to fill. This is the problem running StreamYards. StreamYards is very. I got to figure out how to run this through my GPU instead of that. I run most of my video through that. But anyway, this.
So Danny has done a deep.
Hang on, we'll just leave that there. Anyway, what else is going on? Let's see. We got 16 in the chat. We got 23 likes. That's interesting. People must be taking off. All right, let's get this stuff here a second. We'll go to there. Come on. There we go. All right. Let's see. What else did I miss this morning? There's a couple articles that I was going to go through. Let's talk about gas prices. Apparently there's a CNN anchor that was not having it when it came to blaming Rush for gas prices. And this is Abby. I don't know if you've ever seen Abby Phillips. This would be Abby Phillips, CNN anchor. She's a fine young individual. CNN anchor Abby Phillips said that despite the White House attempt to rebrand the most recent dramatic increases in gas prices as, quote, the Putin price hike, bound entirely to Russian President Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine, the American people do not appear to believe that. Oh, shocker. Shocker. They don't believe it. Let's just, how long is this clip? Let's see if this clip is, it's only 3 minutes. Let's watch this clip. If it'll ever could show up on, it just takes a while when I'm using.
Just said that we just listened is true. It's also largely irrelevant. When inflation is where it's at, when you see gas prices going where it's at, we can talk about a jobs report here. We can talk about the latest PCE numbers of the CPI and all this form. Bloomberg reporters can really get into the weeds, right?
Yeah.
But there's one number that they can't really change, right? And that's what the placard says at the gas station. And that number is high. And that's a daily jobs report that voters, that Americans, consumers see every day. And there's nothing the White House can do about it other than bring down the price.
And we blame Putin. And the tagline was the Putin price hikes or something to that effect.
Look, when I drive past gas stations that say blame Putin more than they say let's go Brandon, I'll know the White House. I'll know the White House has been successful in messaging it.
That is fascinating in its own right. But like, take a look at this Quinnipiac poll. Americans just don't buy that this is related to the war in Ukraine, and most of it, frankly, is not. 41% say it's Biden's policies. Just 24% say the war in Ukraine. 24% also say, and
that's because, despite the White House's spin that there's 9,000 oil leases that aren't being used, it's not about the oil leases. I got in an argument with that. This is the guy. Was last night on Twitter. Who's saying, well, there's 9,000 oil leases that aren't being used. The oil companies are gouging your prices, this and that, blah, 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 blah. No. That's a White House talking point. It's the permits. It's the permits, not the leases. You can have 9,000 oil leases and not allow them to do permits on half of them because a lot of those leases are on public lands, which they've stopped drilling on public lands. That was one of the first things Biden did. We've gone from 1,300 active wells to just over 600 active wells. That means are, even though, and look, out of the 600 wells, the production is still pretty high, but not enough to make up for OPEC not pumping as much. The fact that we're now taking Russian oil off the market for all practical purposes. Although today or yesterday, Germany said that, well, we cannot actually. There's no way to shut off the Russian oil and gas because that's we use too much Russian oil and gas. Okay, but it's still not as flowing as much. We've basically now. Here's the thing: supply and demand. If you increase the supply, okay, you've increased the supply. You allow American oil companies to pump like a motherfucker, and you increase the supply, prices go down. That's how oil market works. More supply and then demand. If demand is higher than supply, then the prices go up. It's not about the oil companies making huge profits. Yes, they make lots of money, right? And I always laugh when people bitch, the oil companies are making record profits. Yeah, where those, and it's as if like, there's just one greedy Scrooge McDuck getting all the money from those oil company profits. But you know where oil company profits usually go? Into your teacher pension fund, into your police officer pension fund, into the places, your public workers pension funds, because they're all invested in oil. So your pension funds are probably swimming in money right now, or at least profits, right? Because it's investors who gain from those profits. The investors, and a lot of those investors are public employee pension funds or places that still have pensions, like UPS. UPS still has pensions. That's where it's going. Investors. So the idea that and remember now, when you say this oil company made $27 billion in profit last year, that tells me nothing. That tells me nothing. Because I know for a fact that the oil companies were losing money just 2 years ago, in the last 2 years. So the fact that they have profits again, it's a damn good thing they do, because your pension fund, which benefits from the profits of those companies, probably was a little worried. Just saying. Anyway, what else do you have to say here?
Oil and gas companies are raising prices, but the White House is trying to do both.
By the way, if it wasn't supply that causes the oil prices to go up, the lack thereof, then why was President Biden begging the Saudis to increase oil production? Why was President Biden looking to Iran and Venezuela to get oil from those countries? And why is the President of the United States taking oil out of the strategic oil reserve, which is, I don't know if I like that idea. What if especially in the brink of war with Russia? Or at least some people wish we were on the brink of war with Russia. Imagine if we were on the brink of war with Russia and you've taken oil out of the strategic oil reserves just to lower prices 20 cents. There's a strategic oil reserve for a reason. And this ain't it, Bubba. I'm sorry. This ain't it, pudding brain. Anyway, what's she saying?
Blame Putin, blame the oil and gas companies, but Americans just don't agree.
Yeah, they're trying to also, as you said, put this on oil and gas companies, put this on price gouging. They also have been trying to explain throughout it all that this is part of coming out of a recession and part of coming out of what the pandemic brought.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Coming out of a recession, coming out of a pandemic, because the demand's higher again? Yeah, that ain't it, sis. that the American people
And
don't think that.
Americans, though, feel as though even though wages are increasing, that they're not increasing to the pace that prices are increasing.
Right.
And so that's the difficulty there. You know, I also think part of that Democratic gap in enthusiasm has a lot to do with Biden's stalled agenda. You know, when you talk to Democratic voters, they bring up the fact that he hasn't done anything on student debt. They bring up the fact that nothing has happened on voting rights. You know, young voters, Biden's numbers have dropped by double digits with young voters, and they were a big part of his coalition in 2020. They helped him in states like Georgia and in Arizona. And the biggest issue that they care about is climate change, and nothing substantial has happened.
Oh my God. Because they've been brainwashed in their schools. Their biggest, young people's biggest issue is climate change. Oh.
Interestingly, you bring up climate change. One of the challenges for Biden is that he needs more drilling in order to get through this period of high gas prices. But progressives, frankly, I mean, that's just not a politically tenable position for a Democratic president to say to the oil companies, drill, baby, drill.
And it goes against their platform overall, but they also have to face the fact.
Well, that's Buttigieg just over there saying, oh, he's the transportation secretary, talking about, well, everyone should buy an electric car because electric car, like Biden said the other day, will save you $80 a month in gas. Don't forget, you'd have a new car payment, and you'd have a new higher insurance rates, and you'd have to buy new batteries after 5 years. But yeah, you might save $80 a month in gas. So $960 a year, you'd save $9,600 over 10 years if you buy a new $50,000 electric car, or Tesla for 60, or, you know. Oh yeah, well, now you have a $500 car payment a month, but hey, you'd save $80 in gas. Oh boy. Anyway.
That right now people are feeling the pain at the pump, and they are having these issues, and they can try to brand it as they are with the Putin price hike, which is, you know, the White House says repeatedly every day at the briefing. But the fact is, prices were going up before the invasion started. Ding! It is still a political reality that they have to deal with, and that they know that they'll have to answer for in the coming months. And so you see President Biden taking the steps like what he did this week, announcing this historic release of oil from the strategic reserves. But the question of whether or not that's actually going to change what people are paying, you know, we talked to industry experts who still think gas prices will hit a high this spring and this summer. Maybe not as high as it was going to be, but it's still going to be high.
I want to switch gears, although it's actually kind of a little bit part of the same conversation. Big Title 42 decision. This is the...
Okay, that's something else that she went on to from there. So anyway, the... and the idea that you're going to take it from the strategic oil reserves is kind of crazy. I just got to tell you. These people are setting the stage for renewed gay bashing. They will likely revel in their martyrdom. Oh, you must be caught. You must be up behind a little bit. Or am I missing something? What am I missing here? P-Dog, what kind of a car do I drive? Well, I drive a Ford F-150 pickup truck that is a 2010 Ford F-150, and I get about 15 miles a gallon in it, and maybe 19 or 20 or so on the highway. And I have a Ford F-150 for a reason, because I pull a trailer a lot. Because in one of my side businesses, I have to pull a trailer to transport goods, and so that's why I have it. But I work very close to home too, so I don't drive as much maybe as some people. But it's still, if right now, I pretty much fill my tank up when I get down to a quarter of a tank, and when I fill it up, it's $80, $80 to $90 to fill it up. You know, from a 3/4 of a tank. I have 33 gallon tank, 34 gallon tank, something like that. I usually fill it up when it's about a quart. When I have I never let it go below a quarter tank. So yeah, that's what I drive. So I would love the gas price to go down. I'm paying, I mean, 2 years ago, I could fill my tank on empty for about $50 or $60. And now I can't do that. Kind of sucks. So anyway, what else is going on? Let's check Twitter. Let's see what's going on Twitter, because this is just one of I got to close the stream down in about 20-25 minutes, but I just wanted to see what was going on Twitter here, see if there's anything. I was gonna try to just interact with people on Twitter and see if I could get any of them to come on the show. And thank you, Sydney Oberg, for following me and on Twitter, and also for retweeting the show, along with who else did that? Anyway, let's see what's going on here. Oh, the Senate committee deadlocks on Supreme Court nominee Ketanji Brown Jackson. Oh, let's talk about that. I didn't watch any of the arguments today. Here it is on the screen. Let's see. Senate committee deadlocks on Supreme Court nominee Ketanji Brown Jackson. I said Jackson Brown, didn't I? Running low, running on empty. On Monday, members of the Senate Judiciary Committee met to discuss Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson's nomination to the U.S. Supreme Court and were deadlocked 11-11 along party lines on whether to send her nomination to the full Senate floor for consideration, per Reuters. According to the Associated Press, Democrats have planned a vote to discharge Jackson's nomination from the committee on Monday evening, and then will launch a series of procedural steps in the coming days to wind it through the 50-50 Senate. Keep it here for the latest. Now, 2 Republican senators who are not on the Judiciary Committee have said they will vote to confirm Supreme Court nominees. So she will be, once they get her out of the Senate, she will be likely be confirmed. Let's see, is there any notes about today's that's funny. Here's a breakdown on how the Senate Judiciary Committee voted on whether to send Ketanji Brown Jackson's Supreme Court nomination to the Senate floor. All the Democrats voted yes, all the Republicans voted no. Okay, it's not that hard. Democrats were poised on money to force the nomination of Judge Ketanji Jackson Brown to the Senate floor, setting up a vote this week to confirm the first Black woman to the Supreme Court, even as Republicans fought against it. I am ambivalent. I as much as I think she's probably not good for as far as I would think. She's going to be confirmed. So it's just prolonging the process, and it makes it hard for me to really care how this goes. What else is happening here? Let's go back to the home page of Twitter and see what else is happening in the world. But Roberts hasn't stepped down. Well, I was worried about Judge Thomas more than I was about Roberts. But my computer froze again. Oh, that's because this stupid thing. Get off my screen. One of the problems using StreamYards and having Streamlabs open so I can see any notifications is that it runs a lot of memory at the same time, or processing power, I should say. I'm going to upgrade my processor one of these days, and then I shouldn't have these problems anymore. I should be able to run like 5 different video programs at the same time and still be able to do it, because I'm going to upgrade to an i11. I have an i5 right now, or an i9, not an i11. I don't think they have an i11, do they yet? I know they have an i9, which is, I'm going to get probably a 64 gig i9 and or maybe 128 gig i9. Then I can run just about anything I need to. Let's see. Dr. Fauci. Oh no. FDA shuts out its own experts in authorizing another vaccine. Oh, I saw this the other day. This is from yesterday. I want something new. What's happening now? Hang on a second. Let's see what's trending. We'll go through Twitter trending and then we'll get out of here. Which I haven't done this in a long time. Zelensky pleads for tougher Russian sanctions as calls for war crime investigation continue. We talked about that this morning. Let's see. Trending. Go to trending. Let's just go up and down the line here. Trading number 1, Saints. The Eagles have traded trade picks 16, 19, and 194 to the Saints in exchange for picks 18, 102, 237, and a 2023 first round pick and a 2024 second. Why? I don't know. Arsenal. I'm not gonna. We'll just skip the sports ones. Mark Plier, In Space with Mark Plier, a new YouTube original film is now available to watch. Yippee. Final Fantasy 14. Apparently that must be out. Elon Musk, according to reports from Bloomberg News, Musk has reportedly taken a 9.2 share passive stake in Twitter. We'll see how long that stays passive. Paula, don't know why it's trending. Is it Paula Abdul? I don't know. Sizzler is trending. Do you know where? Okay, here's a question that might show your age. If you know what Sizzler is, put a 1 in the chat. Sizzler. Do you know what a Sizzler was and where did you grow up? That's the question. Do you know what a Sizzler was and where did you grow up? What kind of car do you? Oh, you already asked me that, Moon. I'm way down here. Let's see here. Coachella's trending. Kanye West won't be performing at Coachella this year. Oh no, God. I don't know what he'll do with not knowing that. He'll probably start his own shit because he's kind of like that. Senate Judiciary Committee's trending. Secret Service is trending. Now this is something stupid. Okay, there was an article in the Washington Examiner today talking about how the Secret Service is paying over $30,000 a month in rent for a mansion to protect Hunter Biden, with a retired agent and ABC contributor adding it isn't new and that the current housing market has driven prices up substantially. So they're renting a $30,000 Malibu house so they can protect Hunter Biden. Now, and I think it was the Washington Examiner that came out with this. And I don't care. Look, one of the things that the Secret Service does is they protect the family of the president and the vice president of the United States. And there's going to be situations where they're going to have to spend a lot of money to do that. Okay. I'm pretty confident that it costs them a lot of money to protect Trump because Trump's family, a jet-setting family, and they have lots of money and they live in expensive places. I'm pretty confident that it was pretty expensive for the Secret Service to protect the Trumps. So if it cost them that much to protect the Bidens, even though I think Hunter Biden is a complete, utter piece of crap, he is the president's son, and that is what's afforded to the president of the United States and their family to protect the president of the United States and their family. So as much as I hate that, hate it, but it is what it is. That's what we do in the United States of America, even though Hunter Biden is, again, a piece of crap. Don't care. All right, back to, let's see, this will go back now that I clicked that one. What else is trending here? And we'll get out of here. Tucker Carlson's trending. Hey, some are highlighting Fox News host Tucker Carlson's previous comment about Russia and its president Vladimir Putin as evidence emerged over the weekend of violence in Bucha, Ukraine, and surrounding areas. Okay, everyone hates Tucker because Tucker doesn't want to go to war. And so they're saying he's being paid by Putin. He's this, that, Putin, Tucker, and whatnot. He's a traitor. Tucker Carlson's a traitor. No, he just doesn't. He's kind of an anti-war right. And also, maybe rightly so, realizes what the actual geopolitics in that region of the world is and sees that maybe everything is not so black and white or blue and yellow for that matter. And so he's not going to be hanging any blue and yellow flags on his, Mercedes or in front of his house or, on the flagpole in front of Fox News. And nor should he, because I don't think that there's any good guys in that war, even though Putin is a piece of shit who probably shouldn't have attacked another country. All right. Joe Davis's baseball shit. Don't care. Obama to Trump. Don't care. Oh, that Hunter Biden laptop thing and all the scandal and yada yada about that, some of that's starting to trickle to Obama. You'll be hearing that in the next few days. It's not a big story yet, but I think it will be. Oh no. Oh no. We got a corn pop story from Joe Biden. This one's Big Mama now. President Biden recalls encountering a woman truck driver named Big Mama during a White House event discussing investments in the U.S. trucking industry. Big Mama joins Corn Pop and Joe Biden's colorful cast of characters. Let's hear about Big Mama. Have you heard about Big Mama yet? Let's hear about Big Mama. Hang on. I'll have to back it up, wind it back here.
Going through Shiloh,
hang
Ohio.
on. Shut up, Joe. No, wait. No. Here we go. Right here. Okay, here we go.
When I was a young senator, there was a guy who ran steel from Deemer Steel out to Ohio. And so I decided to ride out with him, see what it was like on the strike. And I was
Wait a
going through Shiloh,
minute.
Ohio.
Wait a minute. Did he just say that he rode out when he was in the Senate? He went and rode out in a truck from Delaware to Ohio with this truck driver. Oh my God. I got a feeling this is bullshit. I'm gonna start over.
When I was a young senator, there was a guy who ran steel from Deemer Steel out to
This guy
Ohio.
tells so many bullshit
And
stories.
so I decided to ride out with him, see what it was like on the strike.
When I was a young
And I was
senator, he did this.
driving, going through Shiloh, Ohio, and his handle was Big 10. And remember, everybody, all the truck stops were being blockaded at the time and during the strike. And he
During what strike? What year was this, Joe? When I was a young senator. When do you see? Oh my God.
He called. He said, Big 10 wanting to come in. I forget exactly how he said it. And the only woman truck driver I ever knew I met that day, she said, "This is Big Mama, no room." Swear to God, true story. Swear to God. He said, "I've got a United States Senator driving my truck." She said, "I got the damn president in mind. So what?" When I was a young senator.
Okay. In the chat right now, if you believe this is a true story, put any number in the entire universe. If you think it's bullshit, drop an X in the chat. I call bullshit. But you tell me what you think. Big Mama's driving the president. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, he said I had a U.S. senator. He said he had a U.S. senator in his truck. I don't believe it. And he said driving my truck. He didn't drive no truck. Let's see. Sacramento police have arrested Dawg Martin, 26, in connection with the shooting that killed 6 people and wounded 6 others in the heart of California capital city. Remember, there's this big shooting in Sacramento, and they were saying it was gun violence. There was some gun violence in Sacramento. Well, police have arrested Dawg Martin, 26, in connection with that shooting. That was big news because everyone started talking about gun shit. And now that, let's see, HuffPost has the story. It looks like, GOP when the shooter's at white. Well, that's because we want to talk about the statistics on mass shootings. I bet you don't. Hello, Check Your Logic. Hello, Noah Reed and Renee Mayette. I didn't even know you all were here. Well, I knew Renee was here. I didn't see y'all pop in. Hilarious. So you won't hear much about this story. Let's see. Here's the HuffPost story. As soon as it pops up. All right. Sacramento police announced arrest Monday connected with the shooting that killed 6 people, wounded a dozen others at the heart of California's capital city as multiple shooters fired more than 100 rounds and people ran for their lives. Police said they booked Dawg Martin, 26, as a related suspect on assault and illegal firearm charges. Detectives and SWAT teams members found 1 handgun during searches of 3 homes in the area. The arrest came as the 6 victims killed were identified in the shooting that occurred Sunday around 2 a.m. as bars were closing and patrons filled the streets near state capitol. The Sacramento County coroner identified 3 women killed as Jontaya Alexander, Melinda Davis, and Yamil Martinez Andrade. The 3 men killed were Sergio Harris, Joshua Hoy Lucchese, and Devasia Turner. The burst of rapid gunfire gunshots from at least 2 shooters sent people running in terror. 12 were wounded in the neighborhood just a few blocks from the Golden One Arena, where the NBA's Sacramento Kings held a moment of silence before their game Sunday night. Authorities in California capital city identified 6 people killed. Okay, that's just they're rehashing the story. There's 3 different versions of it in there. So anyway, so they've caught their first suspect. Well, that's good. I mean, I laughed though. When GOP, when the shooter isn't white, well, you know what? And the Democrats, when the shooter is white, they are cheering too. They're cheering. So it's just the opposite. But let me guess. Thoughts and prayers. Congress needs to do more background checks. Guns don't kill people. We felt bad for 2 weeks. Forgetting them. Move on. Look, let me guess if any of those guns are legal guns. Let's find out. Let's see if any of these guys that shoot people are members of the NRA. I bet they're not. I bet they don't have an NRA membership. I still haven't seen the mass shooting from an NRA member. Because you know if there was, that would be the headline. NRA member shoots 9 people, kills 3, blah, 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 blah. So yeah. All right, let's see here. Anything else? We'll check if anything else. If not anything else, we'll call it a day because I'm going to go have a cocktail with my wife as soon as she gets home. True Social is trending because the 2 key executives quit after the launch and they're having trouble. Jimmy Johnson's trending. Who knows? Monkey Island. Return to Monkey Island, the sequel to the legendary point-and-click series. I never heard of it. Tallymarker, Tommy Davis, Lego Stars. Okay, that's it for trending. Anything in the news section real quick? And then we'll call it a day. Let's see. Zelensky pleads CNN and MSNBC. So Jen Psaki, the White House press secretary, apparently is interviewing for a job with either CNN or MSNBC. I'm not sure. While she's remaining as the House press secretary, whatever. Make Twitter great again. That's probably trending because of Elon Musk. Go Elon's trending. Jennifer Rubin is trending. Readers react to an opinion piece about economic inflation in the Washington Post by political commentator Jen Rubin. Yes, the Washington Post conservative opinion blogger. I've never seen an opinion of hers that has been conservative, but anyway, all right. Yeah, these are other articles. Anyway, so I'm actually kind of glad that Elon Musk is taking a stake in Twitter, and maybe, just maybe, I don't know if he's going to take a real hands-on approach because he's let's put it this way, he's the largest shareholder in Twitter now, but it's still a 9.2% stake. So there's a lot of people he's got to finagle to actually have an impact, but who knows how much of Twitter he can acquire. He can afford to acquire off a lot of it. You know, he has 2.8 billion is 10% share. Huh, that's something. Anyway, all right, guys, I'm going to call it a day, but I want to thank you for joining me on my birthday because it's been fun, right? And I'm normally here 9 o'clock at 9 o'clock. What is it? Well, 9 o'clock my time, 10 o'clock Eastern. And if you share the stream, you will find a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. So share the stream. And thanks for joining me today. I hope you guys have a wonderful afternoon or evening or morning, depending on where in the world you live. And I just hope that hope we see you again tomorrow. And thanks for sharing my birthday with me. Thanks to the guys, y'all who've been who's been supporting the show monetarily, Tyra and Jimmy from Philly this afternoon, and several of you early, and also just hanging out in the chat and all that stuff. So that's it. It is time for me to go. My name is P. Dawg Knight. Where is it? And I'm out of here. Bye-bye.